Growing up in a very small town in the Adirondack Mountains of New York State, lacked many of the big town experiences such as year round movie theaters, roller skating rinks, amusement parks, and the like. But that never seemed to bother me or my siblings and cousins. We seemed to create many of our own exciting experiences that one could venture to say offered as many, if not more, hair raising exploits, escapades, capers, and stunts. Thanksgivings were a family gathering for much of my youth. One such gathering was when I was about 10 years old, and it was held at my aunt and uncle's who lived on the top of a very steep dirt road. The parking lot was well above the house, and one could imagine all the wonderful trappings to celebrate the day of Thanksgiving had to be carried down a narrow path to the house. Not much of a problem when all is dry. Not long after all was safely placed in the kitchen, it began to sprinkle on this Thanksgiving Day. November, in the ADK, as many call our area, can be a time of experience that all of the weather phenomenon rain, sleet, hail, freezing rain, snow, or a combination of the two can all happen at once. As one dear friend was known to declare, if you don't like the weather here, you just wait a minute. How true that can be. And it wasn't long before the old dirt road began to glaze over as the temperature was in the freezing range. That did not deter the ladies of the kitchen to kick us young boys outside. The rain began to come down just hard enough to create about, a quarter to three-eighths of an inch and maybe even a half an inch in spots of glaring ice. This created the perfect conditions to bring out the old red flexible flyer sled that my cousins had hanging in the shed, inviting us to mount up for the ride of our lives. A few trial and error solo runs down the old dirt road proved conditions far better than one could dream of. Now, just what could be the harm of sleighing down a public road? After all, it was an old dirt road, and on a Thanksgiving day with conditions not fit for cars, but perfect for sleighing. Just down from the parking lot was a very sharp bend with a seasonal driveway that intersected at the apex of the bend, making a very straight runway for the four of us now expert ice pilots. With little discussion, my older brother mounted Old Red to be our trusted driver. My next oldest brother was next to position himself on top of Brother One. My cousin was next, and I became the top navigator. Not one, not two, not three, but four young flyer knots safely stacked on board for the ride of the century. The goal was to hit the main road and navigate the icebound road to the bottom where it kind of flattened out by the local sawmill owner's house. The dream ride would be about 4/10 of a mile ride. Heavens only knows how fast these brave, maybe a bit crazy adventurers would reach. With all my comrades aboard, I pushed off and jumped on top. We hit the ice covered dirt road with more speed than expected. One minor detail, completely not in the plan, was the dip in the seasonal road where it met the public road. Hit that dip we did. Airborne was the result. When our trusty flyer hit the now very icy dirt road, the steel runners cut sharply into the ice, causing an unexpected lurch to the left. Our pilot tried with all his might to correct our course to the right, back to the left, and, well, as one can imagine, all four flexible flyer fellows were ejected, and I dare say we all slid down that glaring road as far as we rode down it on the good old red. That Thanksgiving Day had a very memorable lesson to learn. 3 is a crowd, 4 is a disaster. So, what's your story?